For years, people have tested the patience of the royal guards, laughing in their faces, trying to break their composure. But this time, one man went too far. He thought he was the toughest in the square, until the moment the guard moved. It happened in an instant. A fist was raised, and just when it seemed like the veteran standing before him would crumble, the royal guard shattered every expectation. The crowd gasped, phones went up, and what unfolded next left the entire plaza in stunned silence. Before we dive into the full story, let us know where you're watching from. Drop a comment below, and if you love witnessing moments of respect and tradition, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories like this. The midday sun shone brightly over Buckingham Palace. Tourists lined up along the gates, cameras flashing, laughter filling the air. Children pointed in awe at the statuesque figures in red tunics, their tall bearskin hats like relics from another era. One of them, standing at attention near the entrance, was Private Adam Harris. Like every other guard before him, he was trained for this, to be an unbreakable pillar, to ignore the whispers, the taunts, the cameras flashing inches from his face. But today would test him like never before. The first sign of trouble came with a ripple through the crowd. Heads turned as a broad-shouldered man in a ragged hoodie pushed his way through, moving with the arrogant confidence of someone who had never been told no. His name was Darren Hayes, and if there was one thing he loved, it was attention. With a sneer on his face, he strutted toward the guard, his voice already raised. "Oi, look at this guy. Thinks he's all high and mighty, yeah?" Tourists exchanged uneasy glances. Some chuckled nervously, unsure whether this was some kind of joke. Others instinctively took a step back. But the guard did not flinch, and that only fueled Darren's arrogance. Darren circled the guard like a predator sizing up its prey. "What do they even pay you for, mate? Standing there all day like a mannequin." The guard's silence was absolute, a living statue. Darren grinned. "Bet you can't even talk. Maybe you ain't even real." Laughter rippled through the younger crowd. Some took out their phones. This was exactly the kind of content that went viral. "You lot ever seen one of these blokes react?" Darren called out. "Reckon he's ticklish?" A mother clutched her child's hand, whispering, "Let's go." But no one stepped in, and Darren wasn't finished. The first physical contact was subtle, a single poke to the guard's shoulder. Nothing. Darren smirked. "Oh, he's good at this, eh?" Then came the push, a deliberate shove to the chest. Still, the guard held his ground. A hushed tension swept through the onlookers. Even the ones who had been laughing moments ago were now silent. But Darren mistook their unease for encouragement. He took another step forward. "Oi, watch this," he muttered, and before anyone could react, he snatched the guard's hat. Gasps rang through the crowd. For the first time, a flicker of emotion passed through the guard's eyes. That was mistake number one. Before Darren could do anything else, a new voice cut through the tense silence. "That's enough, lad." An older man stepped forward from the crowd. His posture was straight, his voice unwavering. His weathered hands clutched a wooden cane, but the gleam in his eyes held the kind of strength Darren had never known. "You've had your fun," the veteran said. "But now it's time to walk away." Darren turned slowly, eyes narrowing. "And who the hell are you, old man?" "I served my country," the veteran replied. "The same way he does." He nodded toward the guard. "And we don't stand for cowards like you." The insult hit like a slap to Darren's ego. "You want me to walk away?" he growled, stepping closer. The veteran didn't move. "You think you're tough, huh?" Darren taunted, voice dripping with mockery. "Maybe you need to learn some respect." Then he did something no one expected. He raised his fist, The crowd gasped, and before his punch could land, the guard moved. It was like lightning. Before Darren's fist could even come close, the guard's hand shot out, intercepting the punch with iron grip. The force sent a shock through Darren's body. His smirk vanished, replaced by wide-eyed panic. The guard stepped forward, his posture unshaken, his voice a low and commanding rumble. "Step back." The plaza fell into eerie silence. Even the birds seemed to stop chirping. Darren swallowed hard. He tried to yank his hand away, but the guard didn't let go. "You want to fight?" the guard continued, his voice cold and steady. "Then pick someone who's willing." Darren let out a nervous chuckle. "Hey mate, I was just joking." The grip tightened. "You were about to hit an unarmed man," the guard said, his tone as sharp as a blade. "That's not a joke." Darren's bravado collapsed like a house of cards. The crowd watched, mesmerized, as the bully who had seemed so untouchable only moments ago now looked like a child caught in the act. A few onlookers started clapping, then more joined in. Within seconds, the entire plaza erupted in applause. Darren, face flushed with humiliation, yanked his arm free and stumbled back into the crowd, disappearing into the sea of disapproving faces. The guard straightened his uniform, adjusted his hat, and without another word, resumed his post, as if nothing had happened. The veteran turned toward the guard and nodded. "Good man," he said. The crowd whispered among themselves. "I didn't think he'd move," someone muttered. "He didn't even break a sweat," another whispered in awe. "That," an elderly woman said, shaking her head with a smile, "is a real soldier." A young boy tugged on his father's sleeve. "Dad, did you see that?" The father smiled. "That's what real strength looks like, son. Calm, controlled, unshakable." The moment had ended, but the memory would linger. A silent protector had reminded the world that real power isn't in loud words or brute force, but in discipline, honor, and knowing when to act. Now we turn to you. Have you ever witnessed someone stand up for what's right in such a powerful way? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love these moments of real-life heroism, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories. Because in a world of noise, sometimes silence is the loudest answer.